This conference will now be recorded.
All right, since we're all here, we'll get the meeting started. Call to order. Stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, as we gather this day to do the important business for the people of the village of Owego, grant us wisdom, compassion, and understanding. Amen.
All right, so Jeff came. I wasn't sure he's coming. Forgot to come, but we'll do it first since you're here. And hopefully it's quick.
It'll be real quick. I have a fair board meeting already.
Right. We'll get you out of here. Okay, so Jeff came to talk to us about a potential July 4th, 250-year celebration thing.
So about 2 weeks ago, I got a call from John and Stephanie Whitmore from the Cellar Restaurant, and they were interested in asking for my help to do a July 4th fireworks celebration that they're funding. The Whitmores are going to pay for. What they would like to do is do a fireworks demonstration from the Court Street Bridge, actually on the bridge. And the fireworks vendor was going to load all of the fireworks in a tractor trailer on a flatbed so that we don't have to block the Court Street Bridge until it's time for the fireworks. Then they can pull the truck out, fire the fireworks. The other thing that they like to do is they did want us to continue with the ground show that they've been doing for years. But John had an idea that I'm looking for approval from the board for, to take if you go across the Court Street Bridge on the east side, that big grassy area that's in there, going towards Lackawanna, there's a big grassy area there, doing the ground show from that area. And that would open up the park and the Riverwalk for spectators to try to get more people out of the street and into the park so they can watch the fireworks display. Coupled with the fireworks display, they wanted to do a parade for first responders. That would kick off, say, 7 o'clock, just a small parade, go from like the police department down Church Street, down front. And then once they got down past Duncan, they would park the apparatus, fire trucks, police cars in Front Street, just west of Duncan, and use that as a parking area. And then all the first responders that are in the parade can go over into the park and enjoy the show, have some time to socialize a little bit before the fireworks goes off. And then as soon as the fireworks goes off, the fireworks manufacturer will check for ordnance and pull the truck off to clean up. So the minimal would be a minimal downtime, but they're looking to partner with the village because it is a governmental holiday and anniversary. So they were looking to partner with the village to do that. They are working with HOM, the Elks, the Legion, and the Whitmores were the ones that brought this forward. And so we'd be looking for a parade permit and an event, parade events permit. And would take, let's just say, line up by the PD around 6:30, kick off the parade at 7, gives them half hour, 45 minutes to get down there, about an hour to socialize. I checked the fireworks, or the sunset is at 8:43. I can't tell you if it's going to be daylight savings time or Eastern Standard Time because that's all up in the air. But we're looking at 8:30, 8:45 sunset. So probably kicking off at 9 o'clock with the fireworks. Get them over with. Get the truck off the bridge.
Have they done that truck thing before, the fireworks people?
They have. From what I've been told, they have done that before, and it's all those mortar tubes are all contained on the truck, so it rolls out. We don't have to worry about damaging any, things being dropped on the bridge deck or anything, and it can be cleared right off and moved out of the way fairly quickly and open the streets right back up.
I'm thrilled that they want to do all this for my birthday.
Yeah, it's Charles' birthday that day.
Always about you.
It's all about me.
Congress doesn't move that quick, so I'm thinking daylight savings will adjust accordingly.
I wasn't sure what to put on the permit for the actual time of start.
Do we have a permit, or do you still have to?
I have a permit here. I didn't get it signed by the chief yet.
Just wonder where you were in that process.
Yeah, I just started. I just just wanted to get a heads up. I let Rudy know about it. I got the permit application. Joe is out of town, so I didn't get it signed yet.
I assume you'll be part of that safety
I'll
thing.
do
that
the
will go
stuff,
to the
yeah.
chief
We're
or-
gonna be doing a big update to the plans this year because the fire code changed. We've been having some conversations with the 911 dispatch center, and then we're waiting for the radio upgrade, which will be a significant change in the plan, the way we do business on radio. So a lot going on. So all of our plans will be updated this year.
And I love that you do that, but you do know though, you're no longer associated, we still need it approved through the police department.
Yeah, well, I do it through all the
Yeah.
police, fire, and EMS chiefs.
We know you have the skills, we just,
Yeah, no, I still get them approved. And actually, they're supposed to go through codes too, because there is mandates in the fire code for certain things that have to be in the plans.
Fire extinguishers and whatever.
Fire extinguishers, crowd management, staffing, there's a bunch of stuff. Fire evacuation, shelter in place plans, all those are mandated by the fire code now. So we updated those about 3 years ago, and then the new code revision is coming out as we speak. Actually, in January, it was supposed to be out, but it's been delayed a couple times. So just waiting for a copy of the updated fire code to make sure all our plans meet that new code, the new code language.
Who's gonna organize this parade? Is it, you have like a person yet? Like,
Not yet. John Loftus, name has been popped out there because he's done so many parades, and I figured that, I mean, it literally, this is what, 2 weeks after Strawberry Fest?
literally.
So, 2 weeks, so they were hoping to John, but we're not talking the scope of Strawberry Fest. We're talking about fire, police, and EMS agencies locally. I mean, maybe Candor, Newark Valley, Owego, Campbell, stuff like that. Fairly small, not talking about 200 or 300 pieces of apparatus or anything.
We probably don't know yet, but do we know when other places are doing their, like, I know Candor always does.
That's the piece we want to know,
Yeah,
who's doing what, when, where.
yeah.
Well,
Probably all the
Highland
same day.
Park
Highland
and Well
Park,
does
yeah.
it July
Harlem
4th.
Park is always.
So that's a big draw for that area. So I don't think we bring in the same number of people as Strawberry Fest at all.
Talcott Downs usually does fireworks sometime, probably. I mean, right around there.
it's on a Saturday, it's the 250.
So some of us have spoken to John Whitmore, he's brought some of this up, and he may want to, not necessarily bad, he has some ideas about this or something more for the centennial, or whatever we call it, bicentennial, which is all fine. I think as usual, I always think this, I think we should do a little touch of our research first before we say, yeah, let's do this. Maybe we want to do something more. I'm just saying that we want to know ahead of time, like you're here to tell us. And then we want to do the checking on the things that we want to check on. Does that seem
Yeah,
reasonable?
I just didn't want to go way down the road and then us say no.
Well, no, that's,
I mean, it's got to be a partnership with the village. It's a government holiday, a government anniversary, and that's why it's so important that the government be part of it.
well, that's
So do you,
a recommendation.
Just
do you, like, need any of us to plan? Like, you know, the Strawberry Fest does like a little committee.
Well, I think from what I understand from talking to John is the Elks, the Legion, HOM, and them are all gonna be the committee to pull it off. And I know the Whitmores have already applied for, pending your approval, of course, they've applied for their own personal insurance policy for the fireworks. So that process has already started too for insurances.
And they've done the fireworks a couple of years
They've been
for Strawberry,
sponsoring
so
Strawberry Fest and stuff.
they know what to do about that.
Art Polton was in on the meeting, so he was already on the policy and stuff.
Insurance. I just didn't know if you wanted one of us.
Yeah, anybody wants to get involved.
You know, if we're looking at like food vendors or.
No vendors, local restaurants only, no vendors whatsoever, just the parade and the fireworks.
I talked to John, he was very,
I mean, it makes sense being a small business owner that he would go that way.
Yeah, no, he.
So you plan on a little program in the courthouse square?
I'm not sure about that yet. They mentioned the parade, but I haven't been involved in any in-depth conversations with that yet. I just wanted to get it floated in front of the board ahead of time and then start meeting with them a little bit more once we got a flavor for what the board wanted to do.
I don't want to keep it small and like not use courthouse square because of the like people problems.
The same traffic trouble that we always
The
have.
traffic troubles. I mean, you could do a speaker podium over at the park, right?
And John, when he was putting this together to shoot them off the bridge, said everybody can watch them from Draper Park now. We can have that whole park full. I thought you were talking, when you said park, I thought you were talking across the river.
No.
No,
This
you're
is
talking
Draper
Draper.
Park. Draper Park and the
Yeah.
Riverwalk. The
Yeah.
Riverwalk becomes available too because it's got
If we shoot,
perfect line of
we
sight.
shoot them the other way, and
Yeah.
yeah. So, there's all
And
kinds of.
if
stuff there.
that goes off and works well, that may be an idea to run for some of the other events that we have fireworks for, because it opens up that area to get people off the street, which is always our biggest problem for Strawberry Fest and stuff, so.
Safety wise,
Yeah.
Back to Courthouse Square, your question is fine, but every time we put the Courthouse Square into the mix, we mess up. Well, you and I well know, we mess up all the through traffic and people, and it's just, that's its own trouble. It's a nice place, but we have all that.
And that idea of Main Street or Front Street, like past Duncan, that's a village street, so it's much easier
Yeah.
to close off for
Yeah.
an hour or two.
And it doesn't affect a lot of traffic. We can put up a couple of detour signs and move things around fairly quickly.
I like the idea.
But can we, because we need to know we need to know more. I want to talk to John more about what else you're thinking, because he was thinking more stuff than this maybe. I want to know more about that. I want to know more from other folks that have other ideas. I don't, that's why I just don't want to, as usual,
Right.
3 seconds after we get this, oh yeah, but I want us to think about it and do our due
You
diligence.
got my number, call me back.
What's that?
You got my number.
Yeah, that's right.
And
Yeah, we know this takes planning. This isn't gonna be done in
No.
May or June. Go, oh yeah, we decided in June we can do it. No,
No.
no, that's not that.
You just want to get kind of feel that.
Well, get it in front of you, so you had an idea, time to think about it and work with it and stuff, so.
Great, nothing to approve tonight anyway.
No.
Okay, all right.
Thank you very much. Nice seeing you all.
Maybe next Monday.
Go to the fair board next week.
Go to the fair board, next meeting tonight. See you later.
Good night. Hi, thank you.
So next we got the Buffalo Solar. Yeah, next Monday is President's Day.
So we have Ben.
Yeah, they're
We
better.
got Ben on here.
Yeah.
On the two.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Hi, Ben.
Good.
What's your last name, Ben?
Walco.
How do you spell that?
Walkow.
Just so we get in the minutes.
Yeah, no problem.
A guy named Ben, yeah, no, we can.
So we got your info about these solar panels. So I guess where do you guys want to go with this? We don't have a lot of choices.
Everybody here.
Our choices kind of are put on the building or don't do it.
I don't know what you got.
I look my box every day. I got no info, but that's whatever it is. So quick question, just without getting into great detail. I know that there were complications about putting it on the ground. Was it
Ben, you
impossible, or was it just that was more money or more trouble?
Ben, do you want to like
Yeah, tell
explain
me
the
that.
ground option?
Yeah, so we had just, if you guys seen, I sent that over on Tuesday last week for the roof mount option as well as the ground mount option. But the ground mount, I just kind of put it where I had gathered that you guys were thinking maybe it could go. Definitely a possible option. And, really at this point, I think it's just up to the town as to which direction they'd like to go. The ground mount, there might be some things that slow it down a little bit. So, just with the environmental study, I know there was mention that you guys had that done before. The way that the NY Sun and NYSERDA works with that, they want an up-to-date report, but obviously you guys ran one before, came back okay, so that should be no issue on that front.
He keeps mentioning the town. Does he mean the village?
He means the building.
Then somebody
Yeah,
needs to
we're a
correct that.
village.
Every time you say,
The
every time you say town, I assume you're referring to us because we are the
Yeah.
board of this.
Village.
Yeah,
no,
the village. I'm
Some other
sorry.
entity, okay.
I should assume.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, there is a town of Owego.
Gotcha.
That's
That's
not
not
us.
us.
But the one thing I did want to ask is just for the ground mount location, for anyone who's seen that proposal we sent over, um,
You didn't
is
see
that
it?
a good spot for it, or I could share my screen if,
Oh,
or
sure.
actually no, I don't have
Hang
the
on.
ability to do that.
Hang on, I'll
He's
make you
gonna
that
do
thing.
that,
Okay, so now you can. So go for it.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
Gonna have to go up there.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Everybody but me.
Real glasses, Rusty.
So just to kind of back up view, I'll zoom in a little bit, but in context of the property, just with trying to put it in the best place we can. I don't know what this ground condition looks like there necessarily. So, if that's something that needs to be cleared out by you guys ahead of time, I can't really tell from the Google Earth image, but would be possible to put it there if that's the direction you guys would like to go.
That purple square is not where it would be. Can you hear me?
Where would, yeah, I
That
can hear
purple
you.
square is beyond our property going over onto the Foundry property. If this was going to be on our property, it would have to be in the gray parking lot between the purple square and our Department of Public Works building. So bring that arrow
Gotcha.
down where that
That,
whole,
yeah, that'd be extremely, extremely tight. I just wanted to kind of show context of
See how
the
big that is.
area it would have to take up with the interrow spacing and, for shading purposes. We could put it a little bit tighter than that. But roughly that's the size you'd be looking at.
and that, I measured that piece off there, that gray piece. And it's approximately 120 by 120, which is about a third of an acre. I'm not saying that it would fit there. I'm not saying we should put it there. I just did the research of how big it was when we talked about
Yeah.
a quarter to a half an acre. It would be almost exactly a third of an acre of a square there if that's the spot that was going to go there. But when you go farther to the north there in the purple, there's a real quickly there's a road goes behind that we don't own, at least where that yellow arrow is halfway up, and then the rest of the north we don't own.
Gotcha. I want to see, I did calculate the square footage for this in that email I had sent over to you guys here. Let me just take a look.
For you guys on the thing there. When I did that, I started beyond where we put the well in and enough of a driveway past that, going from our thing up. I went over this way, far enough that there would be enough of a drive and things to get into the salt barn when I measured this. This way, the road, and this way, there's some dirt piles there to the pile. So that was, yeah, in that, about there, that was where the 120 by 120 was. That. Because I mean, not that makes any sense, but almost anything else wouldn't make any sense. You gotta be able to get around these places and into these things. But if that's where we were gonna go, that's it. Up to the side.
Kind of like between our building and the salt barn.
Yeah, so it was about just a little over 10,000 square feet. Sorry, it took me a little bit to find that, but that's roughly,
Minimum?
that would be minimum. Yeah, that's including the fence around it too. So,
I'm not
I
saying we should go
recommend,
there, but that 120 by 120 is 1440,
yeah, so,
which is a third of an acre.
yeah.
Not that it wants to go there, but that'd be how much we would logically be able to put it in. State. I can't see.
And
But
it needs a fence around it?
Probably.
Including
It has to
fences,
have a fence around it,
I would
right?
think you would.
yeah, has to be fenced in.
yeah, it would be fenced in, absolutely.
Put a nice,
From
a
people
nice,
messing with it.
a
And
nice
there's probably a
gate.
lot of power going on in there.
nice gate for the guys that want to take the copper and the metals and steal them and sell them.
Yeah, right.
We'd make sure it's got a lock on it.
Better be a good one.
Just make an electric fence. We got electric fence.
Yeah, right. If it's a cloudy day, you might get it. What else we got?
So, that's kind of roughly what the ground mount looks like. And then the roof mount looks something like this. This would be on the office. I just wanted to show you both options there. But, really it's up to you guys, whichever option you'd like to move forward with. We're prepared to do either or.
And we did figure out this is a easier type of metal roof, right, as far as mounting.
Yeah, it is standing seam. We did get confirmation on that.
That's the better kind.
Right. That's the
Yeah, it's
kind
got a
you
longer lifespan from what I know.
and you don't have to drill into it, right?
Correct. And this is roughly the same system size as well for this one. The ground mount's slightly smaller just with the increased cost for the fence and the trenching. But it's not too much smaller on the ground mount size. And it would be true south facing as well.
Did we look at the floodplain with the ground mount as far as how much up the panels have to be raised up?
It's really up to the town and the variance board on that approval for that.
I don't know what the number is.
Once again, that's us. We are the town, yeah.
The village, I'm sorry. I'm so
No,
sorry.
but when you say it's up to the town, that'd be up to us to decide.
That's correct. Yeah.
I just didn't know if you have like pre-made stanchions that go on kind of thing.
I mean, the bottom edge of the front of the array would be roughly around 2 feet. Once we start to go a little bit taller than that, the wind speed starts to come into be a bigger factor and, just supporting it a little bit more. So that's something we could look into going with a higher height. But you're looking at roughly around, depending on how level the ground is between, 18 inches to 2 feet would be the ideal height for the bottom edge of the front of the panels.
Yeah, I don't know what elevation is here, especially now being a 500.
So this building, is 2 feet above the BFE. So like roughly like 6 feet off the ground.
Right, because there's like 5 steps. Yeah, so you're looking probably at least like 6 feet up.
I can go look just because I want.
Rusty's gonna go count the steps.
Yep, steps should be 8 inches each. That's
This
standard
building
size.
was just built, so.
And the biggest thing, like with, the grant for the NYSERDA is that we would just need the village's variance board or, whether it's you guys or whoever's on that would have to sign off on it being a type 2 project, which is kind of a non-intrusive ground mount. And that would come from the approval from the village.
Yeah.
And then we would just need like a signed letter from you guys to give to NYSERDA for the approval.
But you would need that before March 30th.
Yes. Yeah, because that would be part of the NY Sun approval.
That
Yeah.
might be a challenge.
Yeah, that would be a big challenge.
Just getting them together is a challenge usually. The easiest option is just put it on the roof probably. And it doesn't take up real estate outside.
Yeah, and it directly, we get the power, to our building and like with the ground mounted system, it's like we're just putting it back on to NYSEG, and here we're like using it directly.
Oh, I guess that's a good Ben question. Ben, would there be any difference power wise, like to power the building? Like, could we still do the behind the meter thing with the ground mount?
Yeah, we would do behind the meter with the ground mount because the cost of dropping a new service on the property with a new transformer wouldn't really be worth it. So we would just trench over to the office there to tie in behind the meter.
Like, literally next door anyway. It'd be closer than we were gonna be at the DP, the other building. And then obviously if it goes on the roof, that makes it even easier, because then you don't have to trench anything, it's already on the building, it's going on. Rusty's still outside guesstimating.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good news that it's
Maybe it
the,
left.
the standing seam roof line, because that's like easier, correct?
It's
To
just the
come out.
fact that not necessarily easier. It's just we're not putting any screws into the actual metal. I know that
Okay.
was a concern of everyone of, brand new roof, putting a bunch of holes in it. Even if it wasn't, we use a certain attachment point that, prevents any leaks in that matter. But this is more of just like a clamp that goes onto the actual seam itself.
Okay. The other question I have is with the ground option, if you are putting it on stanchions, how much does that end up costing then? Is that going to eat a bunch of this money just mounting it on the ground?
Yeah, the system size decreases on the ground mount by, let me just look at this real fast. Decreases by around 20 kilowatts. So that's roughly 40 panels ish, give or take.
That was a stupid idea. Don't let me do that again.
Did you get hurt?
No. Do
Oh,
we
good.
have vents? I didn't see vents in this building for the flood. We got them?
Yeah.
I saw one little bitty vent on one end of this long building. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, we would, yeah, and this is a prelim design here, so we'd want to come out and make sure that everything can fit as it's designed, to put it on this other roof here. But
What's not basement? What's it from the? It's about 4 feet high. This floor is from ground level, but what's in it? There's no basement. What is it? Crawl space of 4 feet?
Just rock.
Yeah.
It's like a fake, like floor through basement.
I just wondered, one tiny little thing like this is the entire flood vent. That probably passes muster.
So they said,
What, there's not a basement, there's a hollow crawl space.
yeah, it's just an empty space
Yeah.
with rock.
Yep.
So I'd like to motion that we go with the roof mount system that was proposed for the solar project.
That was where I was gonna go. We gotta pick either one or the other. We'll just vote which one everybody wants. So do we have a second for the roof mill?
I will second for the roof mount.
Any more questions about the roof mill?
The cost of any roof work after this, I talked to a guy who works for a very large commercial roofing company, and said you need to hire a specific kind of roofer to be able to remove these things, replace the roof, and reinstall them, which would add cost down the road for, obviously it won't be this board, but 30, 40, I don't know how long this roof will last.
Right.
I mean, I don't know, at least ground mount, there's no roof to mess with. I was worried about losing that land space, but with the 500-year flood, I don't know there's no we can actually build there now. I
Can't really, other than park stuff.
We're unlikely to build anything over there, that's for sure.
I mean, I would be opposed to the roof mount. I would actually prefer the ground, but that's just me personally.
So, my turn? Nobletti property over by the sewer plant. Bought a big chunk of land over there. We didn't build the big old road there that was supposed to be the whole reason of buying it. Nice spot for a solar array. Where do we use a whole bunch of power? The sewer plant? Be a nice spot to have a solar thing.
Roof mount is not an option over there.
I'm talking about on the
Yeah.
property.
The only concern I have with that is, do we go under the highway or over the highway to get power there? I don't know which way would be the easiest, and I'm sure we would eat up more of this project, getting the electric to the actual buildings.
You'd either go through the tunnel or
There's no room in that tunnel for anything.
what we're talking about.
No.
A thing this big. I'm just saying what you would do. You'd either drill under the road like the other utilities are that are under there, or you're not going over the top of the highway. They're not gonna let you do that. Just a thought. Kind of late in the game.
Ultimately, that's the problem is that we have to have whatever we have to have by the end of March. Otherwise, we don't do it.
And we end up eating the car and tools and whatever else.
Correct, yeah.
Or maybe we eat the car and the tools. Or
That's an
maybe,
option.
or maybe they give us another option, or maybe they don't.
That's an option too, is we say, we're not doing it, and now what? And the worst case scenario is they don't pay us back for the car and the tools. Well, we kind of already bought that stuff.
Yes. Bought it and used it, so probably no backseas on that
It was
one.
on a previous budget, so.
Right, so we've already paid for that, essentially.
We have.
Yeah, the first 12,000 or something, yeah, okay.
It's mostly the cost, which we got some money for, but not.
And I'm assuming if we don't do this, they're gonna want some money back.
Yeah, so this project would, if the cost of the system is just over 200,000 that we're getting free. And then the savings are about like $700,000. And so we're looking at like about $1 million in savings for the taxpayers and energy costs for
What time period?
its lifespan, so 25 years. So it's a win for the residents and for the village to not have such high costs in paying, electric costs. So, it's a really good thing for the village and the taxpayers and the residents. And the roof's not, doesn't really have any other use, right? So it's like,
Use of the roof is a roof.
yeah, we can make a better use of the roof by making some clean energy. So,
I just think with the land, we're not risking the roof at all. We have it available. We lose a little bit, and we don't have the potential for headache in the future.
Right. I mean, I would like to say too, I know like solar, people are doing solar still. That's a really good thing. We had our first OHPC solar in the historic district come up this past week. It was approved. The homeowner was really good about working within the SHPO guidelines, because there are now guidelines on putting solar in historic homes. And they had their solar person came to the meeting also. They were from Troy. And it was just very interesting to kind of hear some of the process and such. And we will be having a second one come next month, I believe, who in the historic district who wishes to put solar in. I think as the energy costs go up, people are going to be much more interested in this than they were, even with just state incentives. But, so there's just that out there too, like things are changing that way. And this is something I would say 10, 15 years ago, SHPO was like definitely dead set against solar on roofs in historic districts. That has changed. Some of the technology's changed, and the inverter box is pretty small, and the clamps are only about 3.5 inches up on the roof. So maybe we can do an I Spy game on, try to figure out which building in the historic district has solar on it, you know, in a couple of years. But anyway, that's just an aside, but it's also like a plug for solar, if you will.
Really?
Was that what that was? Plug for
Technology is
solar.
always changing.
Right, the technology is changing.
When this expires in 25 years, God knows what they're gonna have.
Right,
That's true.
right.
Free energy.
And it's called the sun. Would be nice, right? But
All right, so we got a motion, a second for the roof mount option.
So this is not nothing, so that's why it's taking a little time, and we expect it to take a little time. I wish that Fred was here. There have been questions about Fred's input on this and whether it's what his thinking is and why his thinking is, and I'd love to have him here to tell us, why do you think that that's a bad idea? Why do you think this? Why do you think that? Because he's one of our experts on some of these things. He doesn't want to do this on the roof.
I talked to him today. He was more in favor of the land than the roof.
Right.
I mean, just for the potential of future issues, but.
But once again, I can't speak for him. I'd like to know more of his.
I've talked to him about it too, and it's the same, he's the same. He'd rather see it next to the building than on the building. In general, like,
So it's probably a bit of that same thing that some folks have. I have some of it, which is I'm concerned about it. I'm concerned about the downside. I think that we downplay, I think we've done it in the whole process. We downplay the costs of doing this, the costs over the time. We downplay the potential benefits that, not benefits, but unintended consequences of downside. And I think once again, these don't necessarily carry the weight. I think we overestimate the savings on this. I think, but I said this when we first started this a year ago, so it's the way I thought then, it's the way I think now.
Your degradation numbers are correct. We don't lose much over the 25 years. I was pretty impressed by the loss. I thought it would have substantially more. But I don't know if they've been around 25 years to actually do real world input.
probably not.
And of course, once again, one more piece too. We didn't do a good job, and we as everybody, me, certainly me, of using John Whittemore as a source because he's the guy that knows this stuff. We catch him on the right day and have him tell us things answer questions, tell us things in details. He would have been a valuable source of this, but we just didn't do that, and that's the way it is.
I'm sure this will be the last thing we do within the village.
No, definitely not. Especially if it works out.
I mean, if it does work out, the sewer plant's not a bad place to save some more electric.
Right.
The sewer guys will shoot me because they don't want to lose land, but electric is outrageous.
It's insane. Prices are insane. And then the way the system works, it feeds in, and we use our electric before we use NYSEG's electric, right?
That's correct. And then if you are generating more power than the building's consuming at that time, you'll actually recoup those as credits on your account. And so that way, when the solar's not producing, you can kind of eat into those credits to offset that additional cost.
Oh, I did have a question about that. So I've been noticing these things on houses and stuff. I noticed, lately, everybody that has solar panels are covered in 6 inches of snow. I assume when that happens, they don't make any electric, right?
Yeah, that's true. And so, when we do our calculations for even ground mounts, right? Ground mounts will get covered with snow from time to time as well. It's just they're quicker to shed that snow off. But, we're factoring the soiling in, based on averages over the last X amount of years, just how much additional production we want the array to produce during the summer to then offset the loss of production in the winter due to snow, cloudiness, whatever it may be.
Now, if they're ground mounted, Ben, can they be cleaned off or do you just not touch those?
You could clean it off, just got to be with, it's more of like a squeegee. You can't use just anything, obviously, with a metal because it's glass, right? So
Right.
nothing plastic. You don't want to scratch it and damage the module at all.
I was wondering if it would be worth our man hours to clean those to save what we're gonna save in the wintertime, which is a high heating time.
We've ran some like simulations on that, and it's really not worth it. But I guess it depends on how much you're paying that person, right? So,
It's possible.
There's no heating element incorporated into the design that would act like a defroster?
no, there's not. Obviously, there's always a small voltage running through all of the panels just because it's all tied into the inverter, which is tied into the grid. But typically, it's not, unless the panels are actually producing power, that's when you might feel them warm up, but it's not like a heater by any means.
We should decide something.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's on an angle anyway to point towards the sun, so any small amount of heating would cause the ice and snow to slide off, and therefore it wouldn't take much.
Yeah. I mean, the cost of that would, what outweighs the production you're getting out of it, even roofing de-icing cables, they don't work after a certain temperature. They actually shut down. So, I mean, something like that, maybe somebody has out there as a DIY type deal, but typically in commercial solar, that nothing like that's really required.
That was my question, because I just happened to be noticing driving around. There's a lot of houses that have them. That's what we're talking about.
So we're about ready, Mike. And when it's vote time, it's not time to explain your vote. If you want to explain your vote, explain it before. When it's voting time, it's just time to vote. I have enough reservations and I would like to do differently that I'll probably vote no. And it's because of my worries and reservations. I want it to work the way it's all hoped to be working, and I'm just worried about it. So just explaining my vote before I do it.
I'm with Rusty. I'll vote against the roof. I would vote in favor of the way.
Wish we had, maybe we do have time. I wish Buffalo come down here and look over there at the sewer plant. I don't know, boy, I just think that'd be to catch me out.
I'd like to see that in the future. I just think we lose a lot of expense to getting into the building over there right now with this project.
Yeah, that's true. Doesn't mean we can't.
Like, if we put something half the size over there, it'll help, but it's not gonna take a big hit.
Yeah, if we had a bigger grant, we could put a big one over there. That would be, there wouldn't be a lot of downside there.
Right, well, that is industrial over there.
Fill that whole acre.
That would help with EDU rates and everything else, because we wouldn't have to increase, we would save so much on energy.
And that's the biggest expensive. You buy another acre. You buy that whole field out. Our whole field. That's all. By the way. Okay, so we got the roof mount option. Vote on that, and then obviously the ground mount option could come up. So this is vote on the roof. Okay, so we're voting on the roof. Rusty.
No.
Laura.
Yes.
No.
Brian.
No.
Terry.
Yes.
Bob.
Exchange.
Yeah.
You, where are you, Mike?
I know. Two yeses, right?
Ron is no, Laura is yes. Ann is no, Terry, yes. Charles abstained.
I'm gonna say no. Don't.
I move that we would accept the ground mount option.
I'll second.
And this would go between this building and the salt shed.
Right. Yeah, not as proposed on his.
Right, yeah, not quite like what that had, but close to that, but not quite. Okay, any other questions about the ground mount? Other than we'll probably have to raise it up to 4 feet.
Whatever BFE is, for 500.
Could we have, did somebody second?
I did.
Could we have Buffalo quickly give us if they didn't give us a very detailed, because I don't have anything, a more detailed idea of that and options and costs and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Said we were losing 20 kilowatt.
Hours, yeah, or 40 panels, basically.
Can we tweak that system so that we have better panels or something else panels or more electronic? I don't know how that all works.
All that's gonna have to get figured out real fast.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Because this all has to be approved by the zoning board before the end of March.
Oh, because we've got to get the variances.
Right.
We're gonna have to ask for, if we do this, we're gonna have to ask them to meet.
Right.
I mean, we don't have,
If we move forward.
we can ask them to meet. Could you meet this week? Could you meet before your regular time?
We can.
Yeah.
They will be able to.
Ben, if we decided down the road to add panels to this, would that be an option?
I mean, yeah, like we're gonna put the racking up as is based on, the area we have. Adding panels to it later on, I think that you'd probably have to just put another inverter in. I mean, there would be other things you'd have to pay for. You'd essentially be putting in another system, right? There's not like just tie a couple more in. We're gonna maximize the amount of panels being used with the inverter that's being chosen for you, just to stay within budget.
Right, so there'd be no benefit to adding panels to that location. Okay,
But maybe
In the
this,
future, maybe right now.
but maybe this is a good way to really figure it out so that if we wanted to do something with the sewer treatment plant, we have an idea
Yeah, we
with
see
what's
how it
gone
works.
on here, right?
this is where I'd love to see solar panels and all the street lights and everything else to save us. Because they're expensive.
Everything,
The LEDs.
electric's expensive.
The LED on the street lights. Compared to what it used to be.
That's true.
10% of what it used.
Rusty?
So, but because of my ignorance, I have to ask all these things. So now that original plan that he had for there had a certain number of panels, certain size. If we, and it has to fit in the budget, if to make that a bit larger, that's something I'd like to know. And what would be the cost, and pretend it's, since almost all the things are there, so pretend that it's not $100,000 more, it's 20 more, 30,000, whatever, something more. Would that be something that we would try to find the money for to make it a little bit larger? If we could do that, piggyback on the grant.
So see how much it is to get the actual kilowatt hours we were gonna get if we put.
Yeah. To make it a little bit bigger, we, however it works, maybe we have a little more property than we thought, maybe we smush it together a little closer, we pay a little more, that'd be something more I would like to
We
know.
would have to add 40 panels. I don't know if we would have land space to do that. I mean, I don't know enough. But this was 10,080 square feet. You said.
And I found 1,400 feet at 120 by 20, I mean, maybe there's a little bit more room, so I'm interested to know potential cost of, on top of it for us. You got all that, Ben?
Yeah, I'm hearing. That's fine. If someone can just can someone maybe just outline the exact area you're thinking on your property there, and we'll work within that footprint, put as much as we can there, and we can show you that option to make it as big as we can with the area that you got.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
And you heard the piece where I was talking about, if that can't go within the budget, what might be the added expense for us to find some other funds for?
Yeah, just outline the area, and I'll give you the option of kind of within the exact amount that the grant allots, or potentially if you guys want to invest more into it, we can make it a little bit bigger. But I think footprint wise, I don't know if we'll get to the exact same system size as the other one was, but we get pretty close.
But it doesn't have to be whatever, it doesn't have to be the 75 or the 50, it could be 62 1/3, it could be anything, right?
It could be. I just think that you guys just want to make sure you get approval from NYSERDA on that.
Okay. And this is all assuming that we vote to do this, which we haven't done yet.
That's true.
I mean, regardless of what system size we go with, we need to get approval from the zoning board of appeals, right?
Right.
So, I mean, pick forward and
Right.
take whichever option we can afford when that comes out.
You know, there's a bunch of stuff we gotta do.
Right. Time is always of the essence, unfortunately.
Okay, so we got a motion and a second to move forward with the ground mount. And that triggers off like a bunch of other stuff we gotta do by the end of March to get our show nicer that we're moving.
And we need to get the information quickly so that we can,
Luckily, we got.
because we can always, we're not trying to, but if it just turns that it's impossible, we can always backtrack. We need to get the information as quickly as possible so we can do seeker, variance, all the things as quickly as possible.
I mean, luckily, we got a meeting literally.
We got a regular
next
meeting.
Tuesday, so.
But we need, if we're gonna do that, we need information before next Monday.
Right.
We need information so we can talk to
So
each other, and figure this out.
one thing, if you don't mind, if I just jump in there, we don't want to have a seeker on this because it'll fail for the NY Sun program. That's why the variance board would have to approve the type 2 system, which would allow it to not go through a seeker.
Nate had some sort of like thing about that it was easy to do. That definitely was a type 2.
Type 2.
Yep, just needs to be approved by your board.
So we'll get with Nate, figure that part out. So should we vote on moving forward with the ground mount option? Russ,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Fran,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Charles,
Abstain.
and yes. Okay, so Ben, we will move forward with the ground mount. And probably I'll get with you between now and next Tuesday, and we'll figure out what we gotta do.
Okay, yeah, I'll see how we're looking tomorrow on our schedule, but I should be able to get that turned around pretty quickly. But if someone could just outline the exact area on your property, just so I know where you guys are thinking, send that over to me. That'd be very helpful.
Okay, yeah, I'll make sure that happens.
Is that a good Fred question?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I thought, let's make Fred happy on this.
So as I say, what I did over there was look at a couple of drives, get it in, but I only had it going to the piles. We probably have there's some piles of dirt there. We probably have a little bit more property before we get to the road that goes down behind the Elm Street School. But I didn't count that, but there's a little bit more there.
Sounds like you and Fred ought to get together.
Yeah.
So
We'll get that.
one, real quick, another thing is just property setbacks. So that would be just another layer to the variance board approval. And if, whoever owns the property that's neighboring that area, usual property setbacks are like 20 feet. But if it's from a residential property, sometimes it goes into like the 50-foot range. So we just want to make sure we cover, we'll outline that in our design, but just another layer to the variance board approval.
We would be more than 20 feet from anybody around here other than the who knows who owns it boundary property.
The suites.
And nobody knows that's where that.
That's the county now.
An interesting
Did
question.
the county take possession?
Yeah.
I just talked to police and Fred, and they would love to do that property for an impound lot and parking for DPW vehicles.
Yes. Which we could do that.
Right, so
That's a
then
big
we
one.
would own the land.
Right now it's the county.
Right.
They took it.
I'm sure they give it to us for a song and dance. They don't want it,
They don't want it, no. They took it in,
probably in protest.
yeah, and we're supposed to take it from them. That's some.
But once again, the game,
Wants it,
the game is afoot. We don't want the whole thing. We want 1/3 or 2/3 of it, not the back third. We want that to be somebody else's worry. The county didn't want to take it because they didn't want
No, they
to,
don't.
they didn't want to have a piece of ownership, even if they took it for 10 minutes and gave it to us. They didn't want to be in that potential, but they apparently did.
I kept mentioning 7 acres. I don't know how big it is. I don't
That's
know.
about right.
7 or 8 acres.
Okay. I mean, obviously, him and the chief would be involved in whatever.
Well, they do
I
these
mean, it's
spots.
about the only use for that land. We can't do anything with it.
Can't put anything on it. Put cars on it.
Okay, I just thought I would bring that up today.
Put a fence around it.
No dust there.
Does Ben need more of us? Does Ben need us some more?
I don't think you need us for anything else, Ben, right? I mean.
No, yeah, I think that's it. I'll get you the proposal on the ground mount as soon as somebody sends me over just that layout of where you'd like it, and I'll get that sent over, and I'll send it in that large email with everyone on there, so everybody gets it right away.
Thanks for all your work, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all. You guys have a great night.
And our next meeting is next Tuesday, because Monday's President's Day.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Well, yeah. Let me know, and I can be on that one as well, just after you guys take a look at the new ground mount proposal.
perfect.
Okay, good.
Cool. All right. Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rusty, we're gonna get you on the internet. So you can see this all.
Fran doesn't have it.
All right. Bye.
Just saying, Fran didn't get it.
So
I wasn't the only
next
one that didn't get it.
Did you get it Friday from Nate? Because it came through Nate. No, I know, it came through Nate on Friday.
I'm just saying, Fran said she's not seen it, didn't get it.
So next we got
Maybe
Sam,
just me.
about 90 Temple Street.
Is it Sam?
Yeah.
Sam's
Yep. Good evening, everyone.
Well, Sam, do you want to say your last name for the minute?
Fraunhofer.
Can you spell that, please?
Yeah, that's Frauenhofer.
All right. So what's our update about 90 Temple Street? I know we were talking about a couple options as far as re-bidding.
Yep. So I reached out to Amanda Marsh, who's the regional grant administrator with the Parks Department, and I asked her a few questions to give us a good baseline of all of our options. First and foremost, we'll start with the easy ones. There is the availability to extend the grant period. So currently it's set to expire at the end of 2026. She told me it's a simple application process to extend that. That wouldn't be any issue if we needed to do so, but we can't do that until 30 days within the deadline. So that's a little bit weird. But she assured me it wouldn't be an issue if we had to go that route.
Did she tell you what time length we might be able to extend it for?
No, she did not clarify that, but I think it is on a year basis.
Okay.
But I can't confirm that. So the other question I asked her was in regards to if we had to back out of this grant program. And she did say that that is an option. It wouldn't penalize you from any future grant opportunities. The only requirement on that front would be anything that's already been reimbursed from the state would have to be returned. So I'm not sure where you guys stand on that front. But she did say, it wouldn't put you in a bad spot for future grant applications or processes. You just have to, pretty much give back what if they've given you anything already.
Rodney, we got any reimbursement?
I asked Friday when I was here, and no, we only paid like $5,000, and we have like a bill maybe for 60, 70,
50,000.
60 or 70, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things we asked you, Sam, was how much do we owe now? How much we paid if we decided not to do it? Mayor's saying he thinks we have a bill to you folks for $50,000 or $60,000. Is that something that's the case?
Yeah, so I would assume for the most part, what you've paid out right now is the fees to hunt, which would be right in that $50,000 range, and then the fees for printing and advertisement in the paper for the project. So if I had to guess, yeah, you're probably in that 50 to 60 range. What I don't know and what I didn't get confirmed was if you've been reimbursed for any of that expense from the state yet.
Right. I don't think so, because we couldn't find us actually paying it yet either.
We haven't paid you guys. Catch you later.
You are still talking to us.
So those are the two things to get out of the way. The other good news that I have is from what I talked about with Amanda. If we were to just indicate alternates of the scope we already have approved, it's more than likely that we wouldn't have to go through the full SHPO review. It still would require us to send a new updated set to ship out for them to stamp it for construction purposes. But it's she couldn't give me a definite yes or no, but she said it's very likely that they would waive their 30-day review process on that. If we were to keep the scope as is and just indicate new alternates of what work was already shown.
Our major like hurdle with that was the grant timeline, right? It wasn't really anything else besides, I mean, now we know that we can extend that.
Right. Yep. I think that the timeline was kind of the bigger concern. And, you know, where we stand right now, I think it's still very feasible to get this project done this year, you know, still having work starting in the summer and maybe going a little bit more into fall than before. But my intent on a rebid would be to probably do a minimal time frame. So typically we do about 4 weeks for a bid cycle. I would probably reduce that down to 2 weeks, knowing that the project's already been out. We've already had contractors look at it. I wouldn't be making drastic changes to it. So I'd probably try to go with a 2-week bid cycle to keep everything moving along.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Okay.
So the other thing to note is if we're going out for another rebid situation, really the only cost that you're going to incur is going to be that additional print cost for sending that new set out, as well as the additional advertisement in the paper. But I've talked it over with the higher ups from my firm, and we're not going to be charging you for a rebid scenario. So really, it's just the administrative costs that you'll be facing.
Okay.
So if I had to guess, that's probably another $1,000 or so.
And that's to break it out as more options so that hopefully we can.
Yep. Really, it's,
More alternates.
Right. So
yeah.
we can afford it, hopefully.
Did Williams ever, what's the latest on them? Did they ever get, it's Williams, right? Is it, what was the one that had the second best bid?
That was one.
Yeah,
Williams,
Williams.
did we ever finalize with them where they were on coming down or any of that stuff, or are we still same place with them?
Because their masonry work was really expensive compared to everybody else's.
Yeah.
It was like $160 versus $35-40.
So did anybody get back with them?
Yeah, so I got with Williams, and they could not, so to say, sharpen their pencil to lower their price. They would have to do scope deletion, which, from what Nate advised, was not going to be acceptable for the legal sense of it.
So that probably wouldn't work then.
So we did send a notification out to all contractors that the bids were rejected.
Well, that scope deletion, we could essentially do that with the options. Because then we could pick and choose.
Yeah, exactly. So with breaking out more alternates, the intent would be to have the windows be the base bid scope of work, only the window replacements. That I can assure you falls into your budget. The masonry work would be an alternate. So that's the repointing of the front stoop, some foundation repair along the back corner near the AC area. The gutter replacement, that would be an alternate. So really the only thing that would be in the base bid project is the windows, which is, I'm guessing, really the main focus here.
Now, we don't quote you, but we're asking generally, so nothing putting you on the spot, but there was a thought that the windows might be $4,000 a window times 18 windows. That might be 80,000-ish dollars there. So that wouldn't be the bulk of the project if that was the feel of how much those windows are.
So the thing to remember in the public bid world is that you have bonding and insurance. You have your general conditions. So typically, if you take material costs, you'll add about 20 to 30% on top of that. That's what your actual construction cost would be. So yes, you're right. I mean, the windows aren't the big bulk of the money spent here. I think really it comes down to the masonry work, but also a big consideration that I got from contractors was the fact that this is active police station, active courtroom. There are days they cannot work. So there is some associated cost with the fact that they can't just, you know, come into an empty building, do all their work and get out. You know, they're going to have a lot of coordination efforts in making sure that the disruptions are as minimal as possible.
That's true.
But you are correct. I mean, we're expecting that window itself should be well under our, you know, 490 budget.
If 80 grand was the price of the materials and it's 30% more, that's 24 grand more. That's still only 100 grand. That's not 300, 400 grand.
And the rest of it's masonry.
Yep. And then so with doing this as alternates, it'll give you guys the opportunity to pick and choose what scope you want to add into the project. Amanda did confirm for me that there's nothing saying that you have to spend the total grant amount. You know, it's kind of on a scale. So if we go with less, that's quite all right.
That's true. So we could just do the windows and call it a day, or whatever, you know what I mean?
Or the absolute masonry that has to be done, you know, because we're talking about redoing the whole building. That was going to be 400 grand. Well, maybe we need to do that back corner that's kind of bad news. I'm just saying we can work the masonry if we need to important, less important.
Absolutely. I would probably recommend doing that area of the foundation where the stone is falling out. That should be priority.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. All right, so what should we do to move forward with the option idea? We have to give anything to you, Sam, to do that, or just,
Probably should.
like, do we want a motion to say to move forward with that? Probably the easiest.
Yeah, that would work for me. I can get working on this right away.
Well, you can do that without a motion.
Right. Do you need a motion, or do you want us to, like, that's probably the feel, but do you want us to vote?
Yeah, you can take a vote. Yeah, just a general, you know, direction to move forward is great.
Okay, so somebody make that motion.
But Mike, before the motion, but we've kind of got to decide which of the things, I mean, he can do all that for us, but which of the things it is that if we look at the plans, we look at the scope, the bids, I don't know who's paid a lot of attention to that, and decide which things we think are the things that if we decided to do it that way, which things we think we should have, which ones we should take out. So it's hard for him to get going on that without him knowing what we want to do.
Really saying that we're gonna do, the base bid will be the windows, and then everything else will be an option.
Everything else. But we're gonna have to, well,
Like, the masonry will be an alternate, the gutters, the shed already was, the light pole already was. That's pretty much the things.
now just along that lines, it seems like I remember from the bid that the shed was 60 grand or something. That's over that little stairway on the side.
Some of them,
We can,
some of
we
them
can,
20.
we can build us a shed.
That's where if we do them as alternates, we only award the base bid. and
Yeah,
then
we don't,
add
yeah, the
on.
shed would be an alternate. Yeah, oh, absolutely. I'm with you there, but I'm just saying, when I'm looking at the numbers, I'm thinking 60 grand to put that shed in there.
Right.
I put plywood up there. It's terrible. No, but it's, yeah, that's a lot of money for that little
But we don't have to take.
roof over the cellarway there.
When the bids come in, we don't have to take those alternates.
Yeah, no, yeah, that'd be a good alternate. So Mike, you're thinking just the windows? We didn't make it yet. You're thinking just the windows as a regular, or do we want to add that bad news corner masonry? Can we?
Oh, Sam, is that possible? Like,
Yeah, so what I could do is go through and kind of identify the most problematic masonry areas. We could include that as part of the base bid since, you know, like we said, we expect the windows to be a portion here. So we can include the
for sure.
the really bad masonry areas in base bid, and then kind of build some alternate off of that for other
Yeah,
less-
point
yeah.
things.
Yep, that wouldn't be an issue.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
Wanna make that motion?
Yeah.
Something like that? The basement's gonna. be-
Motion is to have Hunt explore solid bid or whatever the name of that, and option and alternates for us. Present us with it.
I could tell you already, your lips are moving. I can see it.
You're welcome I'm welcome to have you paraphrase that. Nate isn't here to make it
pretty.
make it incredibly.
Yeah.
We authorize Hunt to prepare for us new bid with alternates.
I've been seconded. Why are you still talking?
I thought you didn't like the way I said it.
Use alternates to get us hopefully within the budget.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Oh, that was a little natish there. All right.
Okay, let's vote on that. Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Charles? And yes. Okay, so Sam, we'll move forward with that, and the idea is definitely the windows and the problematic masonry up to what you are thinking. You don't wanna blow the budget again, so.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I will put some documents together and I will get that over to you all through email so you can take a look at it. And we'll get this over into SHPO's hands and hopefully keep this all moving.
All right, perfect.
All right. Well, thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Sam.
Have a good night.
All right, Rusty?
I just hate to put any work on the staff, the ladies over there, but if somebody could make something, maybe for Fran and I, Fran doesn't always get all this stuff, make some hard copies of this, of some of this, when that stuff comes. I appreciate it.
You get it?
Any volunteers?
I need help. No, I really do need help, actually. Are we done with this part? I have a question about this part. The art, DRI.
Oh, yeah.
I was hoping we-
Sorry, yeah, you're not getting out here right now.
Oh,
Sorry,
no,
Rusty.
no, did you see the agenda?
I did.
No Jeff Winchell, no art,
It wasn't on there either.
no Jeff, no art.
Sorry, there's art. We got Jeff on art, it's all right. I know there's been a little bit of issue, so I want to do it while we're still recording everything with some of the people with the art project. With, the way some information got disseminated, and really, I think Bruce Nelson, when he came here, he was super frustrated. And we don't want people being frustrated about this. We want them to be excited. We want them to be able to give us the best that they have. Then unfortunately, I saw another person who had done a submission this weekend, and they have a shop downtown, and they were also saying that they were really frustrated with the information that they don't have. And said, there had been an email, I think it might have gone to the Owego art email, but he hasn't gotten any response. So I basically said to this person, and this was Seamus, Seamus has both whistle, he hasn't done a meeting with us yet, but he said he felt like he needed some of these questions answered before he could even come and do a Zoom with us, because he didn't know a lot of things. So I basically kind of went and got my notebook and wrote some things down, and we weren't really talking about his project per se. We were talking about what he needs to know to get to the next point. And he's only got a few weeks left before this is happening. So this is basically what he wanted to know. He wanted to know if money could be fronted. If you're ordering supplies or something like that, because he says with his business, he doesn't have, he can't order $35,000 worth of something and do that. And he was wondering if that's a possibility. He was wondering, does he become a subcontractor of Hunt? Which I did not give him any answers, by the way. These were his questions. He wanted to know, as a finalist, where is the $1,000? Because that's also an important thing, and he didn't have that. He had questions about the site preparation, and I know we've talked about with Fred, that like DPW would remove the fencing that's there, you know, and maybe some of the rubble, but you know, that would be something like artists would need to talk with Fred Ulrich about, because I think that's an important link in this whole thing too.
Carrie, can I say something about that real quick, or will it bother you?
Can I just
Yeah,
go
yeah.
and then
And bring it back to that.
Do you need, like, when you do your submission, do you need your planned contractors? Because he feels like he can't have a contract with other people that might be working with him until he actually gets to the point that he knows he's won it. Like, so, and that's an issue too, because as a single guy, you know, he said for like the minority and the women owned, he would like to use so-and-so, but he wouldn't be sure 100% if they're available, and he can't offer them money in advance because he doesn't have the money, which made sense to me. And then big questions about can you put a solar panel in, or is there electrical use there? And that I didn't know either. But I really wasn't looking to answer questions at this point, but I feel like this gentleman has become as a finalist. He has questions and he's really frustrated. We don't want to frustrate people. We want people to be excited. We want them to put their best forth on this art project. So I'm not quite sure. Oh, the other question was, where is the prevailing wage schedule at this point? Because
I sent it.
It's online on there's a submission resources. So all the videos are on there, the prevailing wage information, the RFP. So everything's on there, and it's available from our village website.
Okay.
And it's available from the links, like the award letters.
Mm-hmm. Okay, because we found the award letters, but we couldn't find anything else on Saturday. So that was where, was this post Saturday that the prevailing wage schedule went in?
Prevailing wage stuff went up on Thursday.
Okay, well, we'll have to
I
go
sent
back.
it to that Owego art thing.
Okay.
If you have the list of emails, I can send it.
So we need to have like the village have a meeting, like answer the questions that have been asked. So like, you know, about the money arrangement, like, you know, so we have sent questions and they haven't been answered. So like, and we haven't had any of the weekly meetings, you know, so like,
Yeah, we said we were gonna
would
have
James, yeah,
as
if James could do it, or if you could restart the meetings, like the state people would like to meet with us too. And then, yeah, we really do need to give them answers and the money. James
We're gonna
really
give
needs to
money,
get them.
we need a bill from somebody. We need their social security number, if we're gonna give them 1099.
So the money was all supposed to go through a fund.
Okay.
It was supposed to go through the Arts Council, and then they backed out, so it's gonna go through a fund.
If I need the information, if I got a voucher, you just can't give somebody a check.
Yeah, so even if Hunt gives the money, we still have to have that information for it.
But it was supposed to feel like prize money and not like work, and it's
Prize,
been
I thought it was to
impossible
pay for
for
the-
money to.
Welcome to the IRS and the government.
Right, but
Like
it's
their
taking their
awards.
time, but it is like you've gotten through this hurdle. You know, you've got the right Super Bowl numbers for this first quarter, so here's your $10, okay, that sort of thing. But it's not,
So
it is.
I thought it was to cover their.
Yeah, waited
It
patiently,
does
Right.
cover the
I
plan,
waited
to do
patiently
more
for you to be
detailed
done.
Plan,
Yeah,
absolutely,
The question about,
Still income, so they have to
yeah.
go to the proper text.
the question about the money, like ordering materials when we get there, that is definitely a yes.
Okay.
Because, so typically, like all these projects, the contractor will submit in a pay app, like at a point.
Okay.
So yes, like
Okay.
submit in a pay app, we'll pay it, and then. proceed.
I just wanted to get,
Okay,
when I tried to get.
so
it
you're
before.
back to number 6.
So,
Yes.
one of the things we could do is we could look at a bunch of these questions that are process questions that we have answers for in the process questions, and we can either send it or put it on a site for all these people to have, so somebody won't think they're not getting it. Everybody's getting all, so if we think there's 6 process things, we give everybody those 6 things, or however many we can think of or need to do. That's my thought on that stuff. Second thought is on the money, not the 1,000, which should have been to these people. Now this is a bad deal.
5 weeks ago. Yeah.
But about the big money, when we have a contract with whoever, and it'll say that we're going to front you this much money and you're going to fulfill a contract, or you're going to have to give that money back, or whatever we write the contracts. But yeah, they should get some money as they go along, about however we write the contract for that. But the other piece is the preparing of the site. And we need to tell the people about that. We need to decide about that. Even the committee can't really decide about that. We need to decide that. There are those great big chunks of concrete walk away from the regular walk. Are they going to stay? Are they going to go? Are we going to flatten that whole bit out there and take whatever crap out there and put concrete in there, or which would be very expensive, or dirt in there, or whatever we're going to put in there? How are we going to prepare the site? Because we don't expect these artists to prepare that site. And then the other thing we keep not thinking of is, as we're doing this, but that's more for the committee, is preparing the site. We got 75 foot of 8 foot of flat before we go down. And then we got 60 feet as you go down to the steamer house of 45-degree angle right from the sidewalk down. How's this going to work for these people that are thinking they're working with? Do they understand the site? Do they understand that? All that.
Yeah. I mean, I think most of them, it sounds like, have come and looked at the site pretty extensively, except for the one that was in California. So that's 3 of 4. That's pretty good. And they understand that there's, challenges with the terrain.
But still, they understand that, but we have to decide what are we going to do about that? Because we're not going to take that part that's angled up and build it up and make that 8 foot flat in there. So how are we going to prepare that piece and the other piece? We need to.
Well, then maybe we need to start doing Fridays with James or whoever New Hunt is here again. Because I like to see this hash through, and I don't like to see people frustrated when it's supposed to be something that we want their creative juices going and working towards something like that.
I can't see none of that prep work being done at least till March if we're lucky weather-wise.
Oh, honey, we're gonna be out there with like blow torches if we want to be before that. No, we're not getting any earlier than that. And it's not getting awarded until the end of March, I believe, anyway. Is that correct, Laura? Yep. So it's okay. We've got time on that part, but it's I just want to see some of this happen.
It's 40 next week, so maybe we'll get lucky. That's
Go get my bathing suit out.
But we don't, it'll get awarded or whatever, but we don't have to prepare that site by that day, but we have to know what we're going to do. This is what we're doing, and that's it. That's what you have to work on.
Maybe this is something we need to talk with Fred to
Definitely.
like pull him in. I'll make double days. We'll invite him.
Yeah.
That sounds good. All right. I'm sorry to Shanghai the meeting that way, but I do think it's important.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
And we don't know where the $1,000 is with Hunt right now. Is that correct?
James hasn't been to meetings.
Okay. So maybe we should send him an email and ask him what time he can meet us on Friday
Yeah, we'll get that.
during the day. Okay, that would be lovely. Whatever works.
Because like this Friday, 10 o'clock don't work for me because I'm supposed to get a team play.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just stop doing appointments.
I know.
I
Make
know.
it at 9 Friday so I can come at 10. It's always late.
He's acting like my dad. He did. He's like, what's hard? No.
Well, at 10 o'clock, I'm free.
Is that everything about the art?
That's all that I have.
Because
Thank
I
you
have
for
a piece
listening to my
a piece of business that needs to be done, and I have a piece of business.
2 minutes. It should be very easy, streamlined.
Thank you.
If that pump station went down again, the pump is
All right.
mandated together again. The cost to be $11,675. That is the whole cost.
How much?
11,675. Sorry.
Excuse me, sir.
I didn't want to interrupt your,
There is one provider for the pump, so it doesn't have to go out to bid. That is W2O out of Cortland. We've used them previously for other pumps. It'll come out of the equipment line item, which currently has $16,545.09 in it. And it's well within the means of what it's for. We only budgeted $30,000 for that for the year, so we're getting close to depleting, but this FitBab is the one that also takes care of the nursing home so we need one there, plus it's brick pond and all that, so we need this one up and running. This is about the third time they band-aided this together, so they asked that we just get a new one in and be done with it. So that is my motion that we approve the purchase of this pump from W2O out of Cortland for that price.
I'll second.
11,675.
That's the one.
And who are we getting it from, Ron?
W2O.
W2O Cortland?
Yes.
And their sole source. So we don't have a bidder or anything.
Thankfully, it's a 2 to 4 week turnaround, so hopefully our Band-Aid will work for that long.
Okay, somebody second that?
I did.
Okay. Any other discussion about the pump? Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Charles?
Stay.
See how quick that was, Terry?
Hot, I love that.
Painless.
That was beautiful.
Stop spending money. That'd be great.
Everybody off? Anything else?
Yep.
Next week?
One last thing, from the police department, they would like to hire a part-time officer. We hire part-time officers all the time, and for various reasons, some are good, some don't do anything. But we still don't have enough guys to fill all the shifts. Today, Ron and I interviewed a gentleman, his name is Frank, I don't know, we'll find his Franklin or whatever, Frank Lavore, Lavore. I don't know who knows who people around here. This gentleman was a sergeant for the sheriff's department for years and years and retired about 4 years ago. He's recently moved to the area, lives in Berkshire. They say retired Tioga sheriff. Everybody knows this guy. I think one of his daughters has got the platinum or bought it on North Avenue, so she's going to be another business person. He's a 50-ish, married, several children, wants to work for us. So he doesn't want just I just need an accreditation. He does need an accreditation because he's got one, but he's going to need one. But he does want to fill shifts, and I mean, not just 8 hours here and there. He wants to work. Has just about every single thing already checked off, all the background checks. But I will be making a motion that we hire him as a part-time police officer at $25 an hour, starting immediately starting contingent with him passing all the background checks. At the chief's pleasure, starting all that checks. I think that's pretty much it.
Right, it's just going to train with Stars Act for the appropriate amount of time.
Everybody, no, that was the motion.
Yeah.
Wait for a second.
Second.
And anyways, everybody knows this guy. They think that this guy is a heck of a nice guy. He will be an excellent officer. And just on the side, having somebody from the sheriff's department be in our thing helps us with the getting along with, who's highly respected there and was there for his entire career, helps us with our interaction with the sheriff's department. So I think this could be our. What's that now?
He was a sergeant.
Yep. Retired about 4 years ago. You might know him. You see him, you'll probably know him. I mean, he's worked with all those guys. He knows Rudy. He knows Starzak. He knows all those guys. He's worked with them for years. That's the deal from the police department.
We've got a motion and a second. Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
And yes. Anybody else? Anything else?
I move to close the meeting.
Indeed.
8:30, pretty good, considering.